So, how's your day, John? Are we on?
I guess. I didn't see the trying to reconnect. So
But I didn't see
I guess it's okay.
Do you think we're on?
I'm
Look,
kind of thinking.
look.
What? I'm kind of thinking we are.
Are
Let's
we
see.
on, John? So how did your day go today?
Fast.
What did you accomplish? What goals did you set and achieve? Over there yawning.
My tiredness is kicking in. I brought some stuff out from the basement for the gardens areas. Hi, Debbie. Good to see you. I weeded a lot. I did some planting. Hi, Candy. How you doing? Good to see you. Hi, Ada. Good to see you.
Wave to everybody.
I weeded across the front. I weeded around the barn. Hi, Krista. Good to see you.
So was today, hi Krista, did today the
Thank you,
grill
Krista.
guy come?
Oh, the grill guy came this morning. Right.
Fix the grill.
I forgot about that. Candy says, a beautiful day in Iowa, 73,
Oh,
sunny,
wow.
no humidity, perfect day. Well, isn't that awesome?
It was a nice day here, but it looked
Beautiful.
like it was going to rain, and we kept getting that flash on the TV, you know, take shelter, and it didn't rain, did it?
No, we were fortunate. And then the sun came out this afternoon, and the humidity,
And out came the
went
sun
down.
and dried up all the rain.
And the humidity
and
went
wait a
down.
minute.
Arlene says,
And the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again.
that's right. Hey, Arlene, good to see you. She says she can't wait for tonight's live. Hey, it's 9 o'clock.
Uh-oh. Well, hey, it's Marilyn and John with Done by Me, coming to you live from Magnolia Hall on the Delaware, and we are in the tavern tonight. And as by popular request, we are going to continue to show some purchases that we made at the flea market. Well,
Hi, Judy. Good to see you.
Well, I made it while John pulled the car around to
Hi,
pick
Miriam.
up the
Good to
church.
see you.
So he didn't make the purchases. He just rolled his eyes when he saw what I bought, right?
I don't know. Do I?
Yeah.
Debbie says it was pretty here today. 2-hour drive for doctor's appointment. Oh, that's right.
Geez.
Hope you made out okay.
Yeah, I
there,
hope
Debbie.
you made out. 2 hours is quite a drive.
Krista says, but the real question is, what did I eat today, John? I ate an awesome dinner meal that Marilyn made. Really nice, thin sliced pork.
We
With
get those
some
pork tenderloins.
Mashed cauliflower and all kinds of mixed vegetables. Delicious.
A stir fry of mushrooms, zucchini.
Hi, Harley. Good to see you. Hi, Susan. Good to see you.
What else was in there? Broccoli.
Candy says, yippee.
I
Hey,
mean-
Sweet and Sassy Crafting. I can't remember her name. Good to see you.
But we had a nice dinner. I
BB
get those
Crafts, hi,
pork
Bernice, good to see
tenderloins
ya.
and
Thanks for
cut them in
sprinkling.
half and freeze them. And then when I take them out, I slice them while they're still half frozen. This was a small, really small one, so I cut them thick. And then I use the mallet and I tenderize them and make them into a big thing. So they start out little and then make them into a big. I can do a live on that sometime and show.
Hi, Diane.
They
Good
only
to see
take
you.
2 minutes to cook.
Diane Spiegel.
Hi, Diane.
Debbie says surgery will be scheduled. She has to wait for a call.
Oh,
All right.
no.
Well, we'd be saying some prayers for
Yeah,
you.
we'll be thinking of you. So last night, we went over some of the stuff, all that...
No, wait. Welcome to the Stand Tall
Oh.
crafting event.
We got business.
We hope you
Business.
had a chance to watch all the crafters today.
And
You
they
didn't-
were amazing. Everybody did. It was Crafter's Choice, and everybody came up with some really great things.
And thanks for inviting us along, Krista. It's always a privilege and honor to be here. As I say, we always have fun. Hi, Nora. Good to see you. And remember, it's a free page, so join and support all the crafters in the page. That would be awesome. Okie dokie.
So now I'm allowed to talk? Now is it my turn,
You're welcome,
John?
Debbie. Yes.
Okay. So yesterday we showed all that stuff that came from that one woman's estate at the flea market and how they kept giving me stuff. So I'll have to take that upstairs. We left the box down last night. I was tired, John was tired. But I'll take it up and I'll sort through pictures and all that. But so we started this really interesting collection of things, and we didn't get too far, and everybody voted. They wanted, it was unanimous, everybody wanted to see what was in these boxes.
Yeah, Debbie says she's anxious to see.
I have not looked at it since the day I threw stuff in really quickly. So to give a recap, we're walking along the flea market. I see that church that we bought, and I'm like, wow, look at that. And it was amongst tables of junk. And I suspected it would be more than we would want to spend. I try to keep myself on a tight budget, and I don't need anything, so I don't need to bring stuff home. Remember, I have a 5-pound sack, and I have 50 pounds of collectibles.
Hi, Denise. Good to see you. Hi, Wayne. Good to see you. Thanks for sharing. It's not who you think. Hi, Sandy. What? Good to see you.
John's over here making faces.
No, it's okay.
Oh, okay. Hi, Wayne. So anyway, I see the church. I'm really excited. I go over and like, how much is the church? And I don't remember how much the church was. We
said it was $10.
I think it was $10. We're not sure.
I don't know why
15 or some. John remembers 10. I'm thinking 15. I don't know. Well, anyway, so the church is big enough that the car's quite a distance away, and John says, stay here. I'll go pull the car around. So that's the worst thing to say to a person that likes everything, collects everything.
Hi, Sandra.
So the tables are heaped with stuff. So then I'm like, I pick up one thing, and I'm like, how much is that? And I don't know what he said. You know,
Sandra
something.
likes to see your treasures.
Something inexpensive.
Hello, Nicholas. Good to see you.
Yeah, I've been anxious to look at them because they've been here for a couple months since when we bought the church. So anyway, I start looking, then I'm like, well, how much is this? And
Sue
then
says you always get great treasures.
the next thing, I'm filling a box. And then that box is full, and I'm putting it over by the church. And then I'm like, wait a minute, as I'm walking, I think I like this. And then I think I like this. And I start another box. And then I look over, and there's a third box. So now I go over, and I don't remember what I paid for all the boxes. I'm thinking I spent $30 total, the church and all the boxes of stuff. But it was so long ago, I can't remember what I ate for breakfast. Well, I can, because I always eat the same thing. But anyway, I bought all this stuff. So John shows up with the car, and I'm like, he takes the church, and I'm like, wait, we have some stuff here. And he's like, goes to take a few little things off the top of the box. I'm like, no, it's the box. So he takes that box over, and he comes back. He said, why are you still here? I'm like, because I still have this box. So then he takes another box over, and then he comes for the third. And each time it was just a small eye roll.
Thanks, Sue.
So let me show you some of the things, and then you tell me, would you have thrown them in the box? And I think all this extra stuff, fluff, I might have paid $15 for, or something like that. So anyway, I love these little sewing baskets, and typically they're broken on the bottom, broken around here. I have quite a few. When I give you a more thorough tour of my sewing room, you'll see I have quite a few. But, you know, I say once you have one, you like it. Then you get two, and the collection has started, and then you're compelled whenever you see them to purchase them. So this one, I'm going to be able, I'll wash it up in some warm water. I'll let it dry, and then I'll put some sort of a, what's so funny?
Denise says I should have driven faster before he bought more stuff.
Yeah, he walks really slowly and just kind of, it's his own fault. Yeah, he saunders. It's his own fault. If he walked quickly, I wouldn't have found all that other stuff. So anyway, this is what, and like I said, I haven't looked at it. I threw it in the box quickly when I was making the purchase. So this is an old box. I love all these things. So with junk journals, people, this is exactly what they look for. It's suspender. Oh.
They're falling apart as you handle it.
Yeah. It's something for suspenders and belt. Hold the Invisibelt supporter above your trouser band with loops pointing down and over inside suspender buttons. Work buttons through the loops, then turn the supporter down inside the trousers and adjust the buckle to fit the body. Did you get that, John?
Yeah. Jude says that's how Don walks.
Yeah, well, that's his own fault. So anyway,
Right, Denise.
this is really cool. I know you can't read it, but look at the picture and all. And I have the whole
let me
box.
see that picture. Oh wow! So it actually holds the shirt down, and so it doesn't come out of your pants.
Yeah, you could wear this.
That's pretty cool. I was always wondering how people's shirts don't pop up and get all puffed out.
John's all excited because it holds your shirt down. And the little box is so cute. And John already said he'd fix the card box for me, so maybe he'll try to.
And it says, "Oh man, what a find!"
We'll do something with that. I don't know.
Something for John.
And look, here it is.
Hi, Jeannie. Good to see you.
So you put this on. It's like a garter belt for men or something like that. Another one of these contraptions. I don't know whether you guys lived through having to wear nylons and wear the garter belt to hold the stockings up. But that's what this is. It holds your shirt down. And all this fit in that little box. And it's like, it's got to be from, what do you think, the 40s or something.
I have no clue.
But look at that. This is a man's undergarment. I didn't know men wore stuff like that.
Neither did I.
It's a Kingsbury invisible belt.
Krista says she needs one of them.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Candace says, I love stuff like that, and most people I know don't understand why I love the unique stuff.
So this I'll wash up. It'll take me days to clean all this stuff up, but it's just the fun of it.
Hi, Lady T. Good to see you.
So now you could say you saw a show and tell with men's undergarments from the 40s. And this...
Hi, Cheryl. Good to see you.
Hi, everybody. So this is... I'll have to wiggle to get this to fit in. Oh, fit in here. I don't think I have the lid. But this is one of the stacks of cookie cutters, and it's all stars.
Thanks, Lady
And they're
T.
just so neat. So we'll wash this up, and it'll go with the cookie cutters. But that's all the processing that takes so long. Oh, wow. Now here's something interesting.
Debbie says, I bet not many men did wear it. Well, only if I guess you were really fussy and you didn't want your shirt to come out.
Be challenging on a romantic evening.
Right.
And this contain all crochet kit, sufficient to complete the article. So it has, allegedly, I don't know whether the hook is still in here or not, but look at that, it's a crochet kit. And I'm sure when I was picking it up, the guys that did the clean out and were selling this stuff, oh, look what you can make. You can buy smaller sizes to match. And look, you're going to make this little doily, and it costs 10 cents. How cool is that? So I'm sure when I was loading the box, the guy just thought, this is great, so much less that I have to pay to get rid of. But I just couldn't pass that up. It's so cute in the writing, and it's green. And everybody knows my relationship with green. Right, Candy? And I just grabbed stuff, and I forgot I even had what I had. And this looks like, at the top, some little field mice had some issues with this. So we don't know whether these were field mice or English house mice. So how I would tell the difference, I can't tell by the teeth mark. I wish I would. I'll have to ask my friend Rich, because maybe there's a way. But I know if you have mice and they're English field they're English house mice. They actually did come from England at one time when we came over from England. And the English house mice only can live in a house. They don't live outside. And what color feet do the house mice have, John?
White?
No. They have the black feet.
Oh, the black. I always get confused.
And
yes, Candy.
the field mice have white feet. Contrary to what you would think, that the house mouse would have white feet because it lived in the house.
Judy says you love green.
Yeah. So isn't this neat? This is double attachable cuffs. You make old shirts like new, so you can replace your cuffs of your old shirts.
Nice.
How cool is that? Normally you don't see all this men's stuff.
No, you don't.
It's a little bit chewed up. It looks like the mice maybe chewed it, or maybe it just got worn. I don't know. But I thought that was really cool. They just had tables of crap. And like I was scurrying around, throwing it like a little squirrel in my box. So this is cool. This is a paperweight. If it were flat, then it would be one of those things. It is kind of flat, but I don't think it's that. If it were flat, it would be what you put the table leg in it so it didn't mark your furniture, mark your floor rather. But it's a paperweight, and so I think on one of the lives I'll make this into a paperweight.
Candy says, yep.
Put a photograph in it and
a green tall girl connection.
Yep.
Yeah, Denise, that was good, and plus he made money on it.
Ho, ho, ho connection. And
he says, me too.
A bag of spools. Look how cool that is. And some of them still have the paper, not all of them, but heavy duty, JP Coates. There's another one that has a chain on it. I've not seen that paper. But a bag of cool old spools, and some of them have the paper on the end.
Candy has one of those paperweights.
Yeah, isn't that cool? Then this was cool. It's the milk glass salt and pepper shaker, and this, of course, would be in the kitchen, probably on the stove. And look how cool it is. It reminds you of that old jadeite kind of a glass. But it has holes, and I think this would be great even to keep hat pins in if I didn't have a hat pin container. Or I can make those button flowers on the wire, which somebody made in one of the events when we did the button event. There's all kinds of things you could do with these, or just take the little silver top off and use it for a little vase. I mean, there are a million things besides salt and pepper. So they got thrown in the box. So
sorry to hear that, Debbie. Hi, Linda G. Good to see you.
As you're looking,
Sue says, love the spools. I have a hard time finding them.
As you're looking and you're picking up stuff.
Well, apparently they're plentiful in New Jersey.
Yeah. And here's another one of those paperweights. As you're looking and you gather stuff, you figure most of this little stuff when you're throwing the box, this is just going to be free because he's just going to charge me for the box of stuff. So any cool little things you just throw in, oh, it's only free. It's a horrible mindset.
Hi, Fredna. Good to see you.
And look at this, Brillo cleansing bar. This will be really cute. We'll do a tour again of the bathroom of the barn. But the one cabinet, I've been getting all kinds of like little cleaning things and putting in the bathroom. And look how cute that is. It's the really old box.
Candy says she was just going to say about the button flowers. She's made lots of those.
Oh, and what's this? Hillbilly Boogie. In case you want to hear the Hillbilly Boogie, I can lend it to you. I've got it. So that's there. And then if you saw...
cassette tape, is that what that is?
Yeah, cassette tape. And somebody was just sewing a pencil and twirling in here on Facebook or YouTube or something, and nobody knew what they were doing. And Jenny today put a little Barbie head into something, but look at this cool doll head. I was looking for doll heads, 6 months ago. I had this project I wanted to do. Something really cute, not, I'm not into the scary doll head thing. But, so now I have a really cute doll head that I can use for my project.
Miriam says in Troy, New York, they had Collar City made collars so you could just change men's collars so they didn't have to change all the shirt.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
that's probably how your shirts used to have different colors of collars and
the collars
cuffs.
got worn on the inside. And look
Denise
at this
says
cute
she's
little...
curious, is there a date on the Brillo box?
Oh.
Judy says that big paperweight looks like a glass thing my grandpa read with.
Oh, that's cool.
Candy
So
says,
like a magnifying glass.
Candy says, pretty nails again, Marilyn.
Oh, thanks. I did them today while I was watching Crafters. They look so chippy and all. Last night when I looked, I don't see a date on
Debbie
this.
says she loves to look through the boxes and tables of treasure. She lived in Newburgh, New York for 4 years, and she loved going to the flea markets and the yard sales there.
Brillo is stamped on each cake. Do not accept substitutes. I don't see a date on it, but it would be cool, wouldn't it?
Ada says that doll head reminds me of my childhood.
Made in USA. No date on it. Maybe John could do a Google Lens later and see if it comes up with the date. Yeah, the doll head's like an old, it's pre my time. It's got the cool old hair like the old dolls had. And this little button thing is adorable. It's just a little thing with those little pearl buttons. Look how sweet. Oh boy, look at this. Here's 3 little cameo buttons. And it's all treasures. It's just dumped out and you just gather this stuff. And like I said...
Jeannie says, love all those things.
Like I said, most, like the buttons you're picking up, they're just going to be free. They're just going to be free.
Hi,
And
Dawn. Good to
here's
see you.
Coates and Clark, a spool of thread. And, oh, look at
Lady T
these.
says, yep, she's been to Troy, New York. She lived in Albany after I moved from the Catskill
Oh,
Mountains.
that's neat. This has those thistles like you would see on things from, is it Switzerland that they put the thistles on? But it's the thistles. We have thistles in the garden. I told John, yank those out because they are nasty. They're really uncomfortable to pull out. And they spread aggressively. They're beautiful. The goldfinches love them. And there's these green buttons.
Denise says, Justin loves all the doll heads, legs, and arms. He has a special drawer full of them.
Oh, really?
Candy
Oh,
says an extra special doll as her eyes with eyelashes blinked open and shut. Fancy.
Yep. Yeah.
Denise likes little buttons.
Yeah, so this whole thing, look at these. These are like the, I don't know whether they're celluloid or whether they're bone. These little rings. And you know what, I'm sorry. John tells me I don't hold this stuff up long enough for people to see what it is. So I'll hold it up again. Just remind me, John, because I always do it too quick and you remind me. But there's a whole, like these are really neat. I don't know what they are. They're really lightweight. But a whole box of buttons.
Denise says,
And
thistles
thing
are
from-
bad news.
Yeah, a thing from cigars.
Miriam says, I live in Loudonville, New York. I don't know if I pronounced that right or not.
Is that where they make Luden cough drops?
I don't know.
Okay. And then, I don't know, I just love lids. Whenever you go, you always have things that are missing a lid or whatever, and this could go on a crock or anything that you wanted a lid. It's a neat, just a neat little metal lid. I don't know, I grabbed that. Like I said, a lot of the stuff as you're looking, you're thinking this is just going to be free. Now I think this might be, you can't really tell because it's so old and musty, but the top of this There's Massaquoi Indians, or Massaquoi Native Americans, I guess they call them now, and they make sweet grass baskets, and it has, when it's hasn't been in a musty area for 100 years, you can smell, and they smell like sweetgrass, but the lid kind of looks like it has that sweetgrass in it. But it's another neat sewing box. And it has a little damage on it, but a couple of the things, John actually glued them back a little bit, didn't you? So maybe we'll get you to do that. John gets like a little repair pile, and he gets his E6000 out. And he really enjoys doing all those little repairs.
Lady T said she worked at Troop G in Ludenville. I started at Division Headquarters in Albany, New York. Cheryl said she looked up the Brillo box, and it may be from 1950 to 1960.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Thank you. Who looked it up?
Cheryl.
Oh, thank you, Cheryl. And this is like one of the spools of thread from like a clothing factory or whatever.
Sue says it's a beautiful basket.
My industrial I used to have an industrial sewing machine that had the spool stand, and I use spools like this on that, and it has a needle connected to it.
Oh.
And this is an adorable doll, and I forget what that material is, or maybe I never knew what it is.
Krista says it's a beautiful basket.
The doll is adorable. It's got a very distinct
Hi, Donna. Good to see you.
material, but she's missing one leg. But look how cute she is. She's really cute, and I don't know whether this is like paper mache. Look, she's even got a cute little apron and a shawl. But all these things, we'll take our time and clean them up.
Hi, Kathy. Good to see you.
So you wonder what we do with our time. And this is just a bunch of rings. They used to put these like on curtains, you know, you would sew them on like scallop curtains, and you put them on the top. Use them for a lot of different things, but a whole bag of them. Put them in the button box.
Yeah, that's cool, Candy. Yeah, you would think I would have kept some old dental tools, but I didn't, so I don't have any here anymore.
This is an ad. It's a gremlin chaser. Looks like Lifesavers, doesn't it? Look how cute it is.
Debbie says composition, probably.
Oh, it is Lifesavers. Oh yeah, it's probably composition, you're right. Gremlin chaser. So they showed that the Lifesavers chased away the gremlins. That's probably the bad breath.
And he says at least that doll has a body, but missing a leg.
My granddad had when he got older and my grandmom had died and he lived in the city, he would stroll around and go over by the cemetery and visit my grandmother's grave, and he would pick up stuff. Somehow he got this doll head and he named her Magnesia, like milk of magnesia. Her name was Magnesia. She sat on his mantle, and she had a sign under it that said, "I ain't got no body."
That's funny.
That sense of humor ran strong in that in my family.
Candy says it's a cafe ring for curtains.
And this,
Lady T says maybe Justin will give you a leg.
yeah, maybe he's got a leg to stand on.
Ooh.
Isn't that expression, you don't have a leg to stand on?
Yes.
This is
Hearts and laughter.
This is from Mount Vernon Mills, so we'll have to look what that is, what Mount Vernon Mills is, whether it's really in Mount Vernon or it's just the name of a mill or something. But anyway, must be from a box or whatever.
Hey Renee, good to see you. I know, we're not getting rain here. We had some yesterday and a little bit this morning, then it cleared up.
And here's another cool lid. I don't know why it has dots on it, but another cool lid. And I told you if I see a lid, I take it. So if I had something, sugar bowl or whatever, and it didn't have a lid. Plus all these things look cute to set in a garden. Could make some sort of garden art out of it. And then you can't go wrong with the lid. It's just plain yellow lid in case I need a lid for a can, or you can make a little tray out of it, or you could just hoard it for no reason at all. I'm a pistol tonight, John. And then
Debbie says she has a doll head in the closet they found on the lot cleaning up when they were getting ready to build the house.
And there was already stuff in the box when we got it, and I don't know, this guy looks like he's eating Our Lady of the Figs. Look at that, Our Lady of the Figs. And here's a guy, and he must be eating a fig dessert. It's kind of a crazy, I don't know what the heck it is, but
it's a school project.
It's a little crazy thing. And then there's a religious magnet.
I barely saw that.
But you never empty the, you know, when you get a box, it always has stuff already in it. And so that stuff, I guess, was in the box already. And look at this neat doily. My grandmother used to make them like this, but bigger, and she had them in the doorway between like her kitchen and her dining room, like to segregate the two rooms. Even though the doorway was there, she had this hanging up. And you can't go wrong with like old Tupperware containers. And here's one of those little plastic bells from like the 50s. Oh man, and these are really cool buttons.
Denise says Justin has lids too. One pallet sale, he got thousands.
Oh jeez.
Donna says that's neat. She has a fig tree. Debbie says that's neat.
And these flowers, they almost look like they're made from nylon stockings. They have like that little mesh and all. But look how sweet. They're little pansies.
Denise says it's a beautiful lace doily.
And these buttons are these really, they're so thin, you can't believe it. They're just so cool. And they're like made, they're mother of pearls. But they're just light, there's hardly any substance to them, and they're just really thin. And there's a whole container of them and some other assorted buttons that are really cool. So all this I'll go through and I'll clean up, and I was going to say I throw things away, but nothing ever gets thrown away, does it, John? We have the most meager trash out every week. And then these, oh boy, these are really pretty. These are like pearl buttons too. They're really pretty. I don't know whether I can catch, yeah, I can kind of catch it there, what they look like. But aren't they really pretty? They're like gray on the back, like the seashell. And then there's some assorted beads, but most of them don't look too wonderful in that box.
Well, that's cool, Cheryl. Thanks for telling us that. Everybody read what Cheryl wrote. It's a good description.
Oh boy.
I don't know. That's a whole big long thing about Mount Vernon.
Oh, okay.
Jeannie
And
says
does she
it's a
know
conversational piece.
about Mount Vernon Mills or just Mount Vernon?
She looked up Mount Vernon, took a screenshot, and this is what it said. And then she wrote a whole
Oh,
big
okay.
thing.
Because if it's Mount Vernon, so my great-great-grandparents lived in our house. This house was built in 1789. And excuse me if if some of you heard me say this before, but this house was built in 1789 for Major Perkins when he came back from the Revolutionary War, serving under George Washington. So we're not all that far from where, on the Delaware River, it's north of us, I don't know how many miles, but it's still in New Jersey. That's where George Washington crossed the Delaware. And we did go there and make a video a couple winters ago, not at Christmas, but we went like a week before when it wasn't so crowded. So now you fast forward, the Perkins had this house for years. My family bought this house in 53? my family bought this house in 1853, so it was my great-great-grandparents. So it was my great-great-grandfather, my great-great-grandmother, and her sister that were the adults living in the house. And then they had 13 children, and they had 2 Irish girls. I guess they were like indentured servants. They came over, and then they earned their passage. But anyway, my great-great-grandmother and her sister, their father was John Struthers. And if you Google John Struthers, he was a famous marble mason. He made and donated the sarcophagi for George and Martha Washington. And so, and he even paid to get it there, which it was really an expensive thing because it was these big marble coffins. So when we go to Mount Vernon, we make an appointment ahead. They open the tomb, and we get to go in and all that. And I asked my daughter, and she said it was okay for me to show some pictures of us. I generally don't share the personal things like that, but she said it was okay for us to share. But anyway, it gets really involved, so this connection with George Washington and all, and how about Mount Vernon. I could do a 10-hour lecture on that. But anyway, going back to my goodies, so thanks. If it's about Mount Vernon, I can't get enough information.
Linda G loves the old buttons, and Judy says, I have a Mount Vernon, Missouri.
Oh, really? And look how cool this little thing is. So if you're a junk journalist, how fun. I would never cut this, but I would put it on a page. You could slow stitch it on, or it has all kinds of cool hand stitchery on it. And then here are 2 cool napkin rings. And I've collected napkin rings since I was a little girl. My family definitely was different from other families. And my mother always put a napkin ring in my Easter basket, one that had been in my family. Oh, here's another little flower. Look, another one of those. They look like they're made from nylon stockings. Look how cool they are. It's just a sweet little flower. And then I just thought this was like a cool fabric. It looks like it's from the 40s or the 50s. Just a really cool print.
Getting hearts.
Oh, thanks for the hearts, guys. And here's another. Oh, look at that. Oh, here's like some needlework. Look at this little bird. Like, how cool is that? For years, I was in co-ops and all that within antique businesses. And I'll have to show you, I would buy pieces like this. They must have been made, and they're going to be in a quilt. And it's all the embroidery. And actually, I think they would probably call this white work, even though it's not white. It's
Judy loves the fabric.
It's single color. But these would all be pieces that could go into a quilt. I would frame them all out with more fabric and pillow them.
Jeannie says that was very interesting. She loves family history.
Oh man, now it's a cool box. So we got lots more spools of thread, and some of them are those little spools. I love those little ones. Did you guys have those little sewing machines for kids and all? And you would always want like the small spool of thread, and there was even a smaller one than this. And then there are these little spools, which I want to say...
Hi Laura, good to see you.
Oh no, it's not. There used to be some that had buttonhole twist on it, or button thread or something, but these are like paper or cardboard. They're just little ones, almost like little things for a bobbin, but you wouldn't put a paper thing in a sewing machine.
She had She has a couple marble eggs sitting on top of napkin rings like those. A couple odd things I decided they deserve to be together.
Yeah, and it's neat to put them out. Why hide your things?
Hi,
So
Lisa,
anyway,
good
it's
to
all
see
kinds of little ones and big ones and different ones.
She's happy she caught you. She loves watching you go through your boxes.
And then these are tubes of all kinds of beads. Look how cool they are. And like I said, some of this stuff was already like together and I just scooped it up. And this is part of a necklace. And I had some projects I wanted to show you too, like some jewelry making projects down the road. I pulled out some things and I bought some things to do that. In the meantime, this is some cool...
Cheryl loves history. Her ancestors were the Harbaughs. I don't know if I pronounced that properly. And Leonard helped build the Treasury Building and the Civil War Bridge.
Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah, that's cool.
And this is really different looking thread. So if you're going to do slow stitching or anything, this would be neat to use or put it in a junk journal. And then these are all different little beads. Like back in the day, they would make beaded handbags, beaded dresses, and it's all these old beads from back in the day in here. And people would like hand bead flowers and things. Here's some, some sort of little, they look like pearls, but they're not.
Ada says you can find some of the wood spools at some craft stores, but they're expensive now.
Oh, really? And this whole thing is all kinds of beads. I gotta get moving. I still 2 more boxes, so I'm not even through the first.
You're not gonna finish.
And I just love these. This is an old slate chalkboard like what the students would have, and Little House on the Prairie, and they'd all be writing on that. Oh my goodness, I'll need another live for...
Yeah, you will. It's 20 minutes left.
Oh, and look at this. Here's a little, it's probably bent. We would have to figure it out. But a little stand for an egg. But we have to see it may need to be bent back to be round. Another project for John. John says he loves fixing things. And then here's just lots more of these beads. So what will happen, I'll take this case, I'll scrub it up, I'll take all the tubes of beads and I'll put it in here because I have plenty of time to spare.
Denise loves that old chalkboard.
Who does?
Denise.
Oh, that's really neat, isn't it? I have one. Now I have 2. Now I start a collection. Look at this old photograph. I have to get it where you can see it. Look how cool it is. It looks like the 30s or 40s.
Ada has a similar chalkboard.
Oh, that's cool. 2 little girls. And then here's 2 linen dinner napkins. And they're all nicely pressed, but they're dirty. So all these beads will go into that bead case. That'll all have to be cleaned up. All the spools will get kind of cleaned up, and I have containers that I put the spools in.
Charles says George fought in the Battle of Gettysburg and is in the Gettysburg Cemetery.
Oh, that's neat. You know, when you're young, they teach all this stuff, and it wasn't very interesting. And then you get older, and it's all so interesting.
It says you really found some treasures.
Yeah, that's only one of... And I showed you already the stuff that came out yesterday from the box. So now we're on to the next box.
Hi, Paulette. Good to see you. She says Anthony is my maiden name, Susan B. Anthony.
Wow.
I am related. I think that's what you said, Paulette.
That's really cool.
Very cool.
And here's all old bobbins. And these would be great for jewelry. They're old and kind of rusty. They'd be also great for hanging out of a junk journal if you were getting into that. And this is somebody's macrame necklace, and needs little detangling, but it looks like handmade beads and macrame, like right from the, did you guys do macrame in the 60s? And then there's like the hooks, there's all kinds of seam binding, twill tape, more like a repair kit for a beaded dress probably. But the real treasure is, look at this.
Oh, jeez.
I can't really lift it up, but
it?
it's all bugle beads and sequins. It had to be from a dressmaker. I mean, this is like, I'm gonna say 8 cups of beads. Here's another macrame piece. It weighs a ton. But if you look, I was thinking it would all fit in a mason jar. I was going to get John to help me, but there's way more than a mason jar full. It weighs a ton. And it's all kinds of bugle beads. These are strings of sequins. It had to be like a dressmaker. There's black ones. A lot of them look like peacock colors. There's navy blue. These are the little seed beads. Somebody really had to be into beading, but a long time ago. This will take me forever to.
It just says, "Oh Lordy."
Yeah, somebody want them? Come get them.
Krista says, "I wasn't thought of in the '60s."
Oh, rub it in. Here's the invisible eyes I showed you. Here's an old metal zipper. I love the old metal zippers for crafting and for sewing. I had one time when we went to the flea market, there was a big, really big box like this, full of zippers. Every size, every color plastic zipper in the trash. But this is one of the old metal ones. You would rub soap on it to help it glide better. There's more. They're all great old beads. Like, I think a lot of these old beads might have been from like the 20s. Or more contemporary, but like for evening gowns. And then look at this cool green spool of thread. That'll go, is that the thread over there? Yeah. And all kinds of rickrack.
Kathy says, "Oh my gosh, I'd love to get my fingers in those beads."
Yeah, what would you do with them? Who said that, Kathy?
Kathy Merrick.
Yeah, Kathy, what would you do with them? Here's gold rickrack. There's the wide. There's even wider. I used to 17 cents for this pack of rickrack. Trying to get it so you can the right
Laura
angle.
says, "What's a bugle bead?"
Bugle bead is long, thin, like a little tube. How do I know such stupid trivia? But lots more rickrack. So when I cleaned out the sewing room, I had tons and tons of rickrack. And I have containers just with rickrack in it, containers just with seam binding. We have here all kinds of folded seam binding, iron-on seam binding. Being tall, Candy and I know about this. You put this on everything, take the hem out, put this on, and then this becomes the hem and it makes the garments longer. There was all this.
Candy loves rickrack.
Yeah, I love rickrack too.
Ada says rickrack has so many uses.
Yeah, I put it on a lot of towels, if you remember. I made some towels with yo-yos on it, and look, here is a metal zipper, separating metal zipper, and it's still in the package. That's a nice find. And here, look, a cute little pin cushion. So that was just a box on its own. Would you have bought this box? So heavy, John.
Kathy says, yes, we do. I still do that. Kathy Merrick says, I would be like Midas and just play in them like he did his money. LOL.
Yeah, that's how it is. It's just such a treasure, and you just like to look at it. And look at these old fabrics, Judy. Look at this Argyle one. And I know they make reproductions similar, but this is one, it's all cotton, and it's old.
Hi, Pat. Good to see you.
The old Argyle. And it must have been something that they took the stitching out of, because there's little holes around from the stitching. And look at this one, too. And I love anything with paisley on it. Look how pretty that is. But the old fabrics. And I couldn't pass this up. This is the back from a chair, an old oak chair, but it just looks like something perfect for a crafter.
Paulette loves the jacket zipper. She loves the box.
Oh yeah, the separating zipper. What time, how much time do we have?
About 10 minutes.
Okay, I'm good, I can keep going. See, I had brought this pan thinking I could dump the beads into here and then take the beads and put them into a jar, but there's way more than the jar will ever hold. I just had, like I said, I grabbed this stuff up and I never really looked at it.
She says, I love them in the first one too.
So, who said that wooden spools of thread are hard to come by? Because look, I got all these too. Yeah, in case you thought they're hard to, a couple of them are not wooden spools, but almost all of them are in here also. So we got more wooden spools in here. And some of them are real different ones. They're like, oh boy, this is like nylon thread or something. This is like a totally different thread, but it's a long spool.
Candy says you need a gallon jar or more.
Yeah. Oh, and so look at all this. It's all...
Hi, Angie. Good to see you. Thanks
look
for
at
sprinkling.
this. It's all religious medals.
Sue said me.
This is all religious medals. Look at these, John.
That's
the little
cool.
medal's supposed to hang down
That's cool.
from here, look. Look how cool it is. Aren't they really neat? And there's just one after another, all these little religious medals and things, and little cards. Keep this booklet as a permanent memento from us. It has been said that those who practice devotion to Mary's sorrows will have their eternal salvation secured. And look at that, and it's got awesome little pictures. This would be so cute to tuck in a junk journal. I would never tear it apart because it's a devotion of honor of our Blessed Mother. But look how cute. It's a little booklet that can be tucked. And look.
Sue says at least they're in the South. And Kathy says such treasures.
And I don't know what this is. I'm not Catholic, so it's probably... And I think it's French. En faire du bien sur la terre. Bien is good, so I don't know what it is.
Getting lots of hearts.
But it's, thanks for the hearts, guys.
Hi, Ruth.
It's
good to see
a metal.
you.
Let me catch. Can you see that? Oh, yeah. See, there's a little thing like stitched in there. I don't know whether it's like a, what are they called that they bless you with? I told you when I was sick, I went to that church and they blessed you with a relic. I don't know whether it's supposed to be like a little relic in there. It's some little thing that's stitched in there, and then there's that in there.
Nora says, did you ever make bubble blowers from spools?
No. That sounds cool. But these are all prayer cards. Look how cool. They're all beautiful. I mean, if
Candace says when she gets a bedroom cleared out for her sewing room, she wants to make a big wreath of old sewing items wired on, not glued, like snaps, buttons, lace pieces, measuring tape, etc.
That would be really cool. And here's a crucifix that has been made in part from wood taken from the original ceiling of the San Gabriel Mission Church at San Gabriel, California. Here is truly a souvenir of the world-famous mission erected in 1771. So, and our house was built 1789. So this was right before our house, this
Sandra
mission.
says fairs is make or do in English. Fair.
Oh, okay.
Sandra, fair.
And this is a little packet.
Getting hearts again.
Thanks for the hearts, guys. So I don't know, but look at this old paper. But how could you pass this stuff up? And the box itself, look at the pretty old Christmas box. That's from like the 50s.
I remember seeing that before somewhere.
Yeah. And I love this. Now this will have to be soaked and scrubbed real good, but it's a children's hanger. I can hang one of my little dresses on that. Look how cute. Oh man, guys, you're gonna not believe this.
Still getting hearts.
Thanks for the hearts, guys. Oh, here's another cool button. Look at that. But in case you thought wooden spools were hard to come by, you know why? Somebody was hoarding them. And then I took over that privilege, or what would you call it, that duty. Look at all, more wooden spools. I don't know what that is. But let me just bring the whole box over and let you show, so we can have the grand finale. So here's a, look how cool. This is Trooping the Color at Horse Guards Parade, London, England. It's just the lid to a can, but look how cool that is.
Here he says the wooden spools are round there where she is. Kathy says, a hanger, and the cow jumped over the moon.
Yeah, isn't that really cute? They diddle diddle. And here we go, guys, for the grand finale. And you will have seen everything that I bought for, I think it was $30 with the church. Ta-da! So for those who say there are no spools, they're all here. This is the spool capital of the United States.
Sandra says she has a pink one and a blue one for the children's clothes racks. She wants to find some little dresses. Denise says, yup, all the wooden spools are now at Maryland's.
Yeah, and look, they're like needle cases. There's all kinds of little needle things. Not only are there
says,
typical...
wow, such a treasure trove.
Look at that spool. Just a little tiny one. There's old, I don't know what they're like the pre-plastic. I don't know whether they're celluloid or what they are, knitting needles. I mean, I can spend hours looking in this box because there's
It just says,
all
wow.
all the old crochet hooks. I mean, I'm really going to have to wash my hands after this. This stuff's really old, and
Krista says that is a box of goodies.
And this will take quite a while to sort it out and clean it. Look at this neat spool. This is, I think, pearl cotton. What's it say on here? Silkatine knitting and crochet. It looks like pearl cotton, but it says it's silk sheen.
So hey, we have just about 2 minutes, and you're on the Stand Tall Crafting Group. And thanks again, Krista, for inviting us along. And tonight we're bringing up the rear.
Look at this, Judy.
Always a pleasure and honor to be here. And remember to join. It's a free page. And check out the other crafters that came on before us. Just check
They were
out
all
their
great.
replays.
I watched everybody.
And hey, we love, thanks for supporting Stand Tall. Thanks for supporting us. Check out our page. We'd love to have you follow us. And you can link to our Telegram and our YouTube channel from our page. So
Now,
thanks.
I don't remember whether it's
Thank you.
Krista that said it, or I
1
think
minute.
it was Krista said that we're like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, I think
And
it
that's
was.
how we are. And we try to, and here, look how I was looking for those pins, corsage pins. Decorative pearl head pins, 19 cents.
Judy loves them.
So the whole box, I mean, this will
You
take
too,
me
Ada.
hours to sort through, and I had all my thread organized and everything in my sewing room, and then I had to go and buy this. So probably not a good choice, Marilyn. But there's
Thanks,
just so many
Krista.
things,
Thanks, Kathy.
lots
Thanks,
more
Denise.
buttons.
Thanks
So
for the hearts, everybody.
this is the end of seeing our finds, flea market finds. This is like we showed you the last 3 months of what we purchased, and it was only a couple times that we made a purchase, but we got a lot
You too,
for our
Denise.
money.
It's 10 o'clock.
But we appreciate you following us, guys, and thanks. And Jenny said earlier, this really lifts your heart and makes you happy being with your friends and sharing joy. And thanks for all that you give to us, guys. We really appreciate your friendship. Have a good night, and dream of wooden spools of thread.